Hello, friends. This is Scott, host at Sharing the Burden, live every Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. at 102.9 FM in Stouffville. Please listen online. Community signals are not very strong, but the internet can let you hear this anywhere around the world. I wanted to bring your attention to today's sharing that we do every day at Sharing the Burden at different meetings, wherever they may be. And most of our meetings are actually inside prisons. So just to give you an idea, and we see about 3,000 prisoners per year. And I hope I make a difference and provide some hope for some of these people. And I'm quite certain that we do. Anyway, we're a Christian organization, but we are not qualifying anybody. We want absolutely anybody who wants any form of recovery, not necessarily just recovery from booze or drugs or overeating or gambling, but people who are just uncomfortable and need support. I guess we're sort of professional supporters as much as anything else. And anyway, today's reading in the Life Recovery Devotional, a book written by Dr. David Stoop and Stephen Arterburn, two of my heroes in many ways. Anyway, I just wanted to tell you that they wrote this book and we use it as our daily reader. And we follow the month that corresponds with the step. And we're a 12-step organization. So step 6 will obviously be June. And day 22 would be the 22nd. So day 22 for step 6 is June 22nd for us. That gives us some impetus, and everybody follows the same program. Anyway, this one's talking about change that we want to happen more so in the next month in July, but we're preparing, so we're thinking about, what things are we really going to be okay without if we ask God to remove them? Are we going to be able to survive without, for instance, being envious or jealous? These things that we don't think we need were in use a lot of the time and still are probably. So anyway, there's different things to think about. So I just made a couple of notes. I'll read them to you here, and I've got this down. It says, how many hours at 24/7 for 365 days per year did it take you to become who you are? How old are you, in other words? And how fast do you want healthy change to come to you? An important factor, because healthy change is change that usually takes on a gradual happening, and I think it's probably the best. I see it as foundational. This kind of change is foundational, and I believe I've also seen many times in different organizations, particularly with addiction as it's more known, alcoholism or drug addiction. I've seen many where people have prayed and with others, with us, with many perhaps, and they've been given a time of abstinence. And if they take that abstinence and they really work a recovery program, they not only develop, but they grow and they heal and they become very valuable, I believe, to God and to God's creatures down here, who we often refer to as our neighbors. Our neighbors are absolutely everyone else on this planet, not just a brother and sister by blood. So God gives abstinence to many, but many don't do their part, and the result is eventually that escape need comes back. They do the escape mechanism, which is probably their addiction, and the first thing you know, they're back where they were. And addiction's a strange animal, because if you are a drinker, for instance, and you are drinking, a 40 ounce of vodka every day, now you won't start over, even if it's years. You won't start over at 40, but you won't start over at a drink, and it'll be no time at all. You'll be back where you were, and probably even increasing it. And over time, this is certainly a way to death, liver damage, and so on. So I just, anyway, we all need change, and we, those of us who really focus on a program get some change over time. And I'm trying to tell people, celebrate every little change, because every move is important. Every little way you speak and communicate is important, not just what other people think is good or compliment you on. Just know that every little change that you're aware of is part of your overall change to come. And I believe if we celebrate every change as though it were the ultimate change, in other words, as though it were the actually prayed prayer coming true, coming to fruition, I think we'll enjoy the journey a lot more, because every part should be celebrated. We don't have to wait till the end to celebrate, because that way every little niche that doesn't go the right way along the way is very hard to handle. So anyway, another thing down here, the caption at the bottom says, God could change us in a moment, but often chooses to change us slowly, one step at a time. And I believe that is so true. I put up here, made a note that God can change anything in an instant. For instance, addiction. And again, I mentioned God giving abstinence to many, but most not doing that part, and therefore ending up back into the same compulsive habit disorder, addiction that they previously had. So obviously that's not the answer. And if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 years old, it's taking you all those hours and all those years to become who you are. So don't rush it. Take your time. But know, one day at a time, if you keep working your program, what you design over time, you will be successful, and very successful. And I'd sure love to see you. So again, I'm Scott, founder of Sharing the Burden and stbradio.ca. Please look us up, sharingtheburden.ca or stbradio.ca. Find some of our old broadcasts, listen to them, and maybe you'd be interested in listening to a newer one. Maybe you'd be interested in being on a show to talk about, where you need support, where you give support. We're looking at all dimensions, all sides of these relationships, and we'd love to hear from you. You can find me at Scott at sharingtheburden.ca. Scott with 2 T's. Anyway, folks, God bless. Thank you for listening to me, and I pray that we do see you, and we're able somehow together to make a difference in both our lives. So, God bless, and we'll see you soon.